Greeting, traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? Adios! We're gonna be rich!
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
Good evening, everybody. It is that time of the week again. Yes, it's Wednesday. Yes, we're halfway through the week. And yes, you have not lost track of time. This is, in fact, hump day. But more importantly, it's time for Tavern Talk, the show where we like to talk about the weekly THL shenanigans and go on various rants and bad takes along the way. I'm, of course, your host, J.R. Juggerlaw, and here tonight I have a fantastic group of people who you are all pretty relatively familiar with up until this point. So let's get right to it. Of course, we've got ourselves my OP, my co-host, the man who really runs the show more than I do, and sometimes I should remind people of that. It's Dr. Fish.
Hello, everybody. Man, I'm really loving that this season's kicking into gear. Now this week will be the week that now every single legacy team has played a match, and every single pro team will have played a match after this week.
Yeah, that's actually something we didn't really bring up last week, to my surprise. So that's definitely worth mentioning now.
Yep.
Next up, of course, we've got ourselves our newest co-host. He is, again, like I said last week, proven to be a great addition. We're happy to have him back. Say hello to Geranium Battle.
Hello again. I'm very glad to be back here again. And yes, I'm once again excited. This week you get to see the premiere of yet another team in every single league, essentially, and just get to talk about it more. So I'm very excited.
Hell frickin' yes. I like the way that sounds. And last but not least, our very special guest tonight is, well, somebody you've all very familiar with because he was basically on every show last season. We're happy to have him back, even though of course we would love to have him more often. Say hello to always just in time.
Hello, always just in time.
Always.
You know what? I got technical. As somebody who's very technical, I'll let that slide. I
Yeah.
will let that
Thanks for
slide
the-
just for now.
Thanks for that introduction, Jay. I'm happy to be back for this week.
I
Yeah.
gotta try. I gotta make everybody else look good. More so than myself. You know how it is.
And also, Geranium, but I know you wanted to bring up something in our intro.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring it up with the first team, I think.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we have a pretty long show to get through tonight as we're covering all 4 series, doing 3 matches a series and our commercial break. So let's get right into Legacy Series.
We'll keep it all moving. So let's start with Geranium has got a match. It's going to be Fish versus Dirty Mike and the boys.
Yeah, so Fish versus Dirty Mike and the boys. We see that Fish won their match last week in a rather close fashion, whereas Dirty Mike and the boys lost it by just one more player. But as we were talking about Fish and Dirty Mike and the boys, I of course always have to bring up Fish. Please post Fish in the chat to support our boys Fish. And also, if you guys want to support Dirty Mike and the boys, there is THL merch. I am bringing up, of course, that I am wearing some wonderful THL merch right now and loving it. But now, actually talking about the series, I think Fish is maybe in a prime position to win. But I definitely don't want to count out Dirty Mike and the boys. Hickett did win Player of the Week in Legacy this last week, and we're probably going to see a great repeat performance. But that's not to say that Dirty Mike and the boys, they are championship quality. It's just, they lost their first week. You can have a great team and lose to variance, and lose with DH.
100%. I mean, I feel like that's one of the things that's pretty exciting about Hearthstone in a way. Like, I feel like with Hearthstone, matches don't always go a certain way. Like, it can be annoying when you lose an unfavored matchup, but I like the fact that, you can definitely learn to play certain matchups well and deal with kind of the variance of it, Like, there's only so much you can do, but there's definitely a lot more, I think, room for there's a lot more room for players to take to be proactive and to really take control of the match than they might realize at times.
Yeah, I was interested to see about this one, that both teams, I think this got talked about on the reveal stream a little bit, but have such unique roster comps of PR construction of their top player, their 1 seed less than 450 PR, but then again on their 5 seed having over 250 PR for Fish and just under that for Dirty Mike and the boys. So very, very middle out construction. Probably the only week in which each player on these rosters will be matched with someone like at basically their same PR.
Yeah, we could see a lot of 3-2s this week. Just very close matches.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think this season is looking very exciting just from the very first week from some of the standings. For instance, I don't want to get too off topic, but I don't know if anybody noticed the team that ended up having the most points this week was a Noyo team. Sorry, from last week.
Yeah, Noyo did really well. Across the board.
I was definitely skeptical of them, of how well they were going to do because of their PR makeup, but boy, did they show up.
Yeah, for sure. This match, I mean, I think you all have hit really good points about this match. I'm very interested to see, because there's only 3 members. No, they're actually all 4 members besides Megu were actually on Dirty Mike and the boys last season. I'm curious to see how they bounce back from having 4 of their members losing, with only Lefty getting a win last week.
And only 7 points for the week. That is
Yeah.
pretty low scoring. That's
Yeah.
only 3 points between their 4 remaining matches. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. They did go up against a juggernaut team though, so I'm sure they'll bounce
What are you
back
talking
pretty well.
about? They didn't go up against my team.
You're right. Your teams are in different conferences. They went up against Dad Legend last week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, Juggernaut, you did prove just how much of a juggernaut your opponent can be last week.
I mean, well, you know what? In my defense, both of my teams won last week, despite
Yeah.
me only winning one of my matches. So I'm pretty content this week.
Awesome.
Like literally, like my legacy team is at the point where we're already doing better than we did last season because of how badly we did.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but I did know that your team actually got a win this season, and I was like, oh, I'm really happy because I feel like they're gonna have a better season because of an early good start like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like early momentum is obviously something you really want to have. You want to
Yeah.
stay in. You want to be able to keep up with everybody. But as we've kind of seen, it's very easy for teams to really, uh, to really like, uh, to really like hit their stride later in the season.
Agreed. Not very many teams are. Not a lot of teams usually end up doing that.
Right.
So we'll transfer from talking about teams that have started the season off right to a team that is looking to start off the season right in
Right.
Legacy. And so we're gonna next move on to the match that JR will be going over.
Yeah, Hearthstone Academy versus Orcs That Smork. I'm not gonna lie, this one is I'm both really excited to talk about, but I'm also like very surprised that HSA lost last week. I feel like, I mean, they had tough opponents, don't get me wrong, but it definitely feels like these guys were like still very like in such a good position to do well, and I was still kind of expecting them to win, and they didn't quite pull it off. Though I think it was pretty close if I remember. No, Kalis Luna was the only
No,
one that won.
yeah, Kalis was the only one who won, but
Yeah,
but
it was a rough
it
week for
was,
them.
but they got a sweep, so it kind of made it look a bit better.
Yeah, but like unfortunately, you look, they only have 8 points.
Mhm.
That's definitely an unfortunate start to the season for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, for sure.
I do think that this is HSA. They're
Mhm.
far from out of it.
Of course.
But now they've got the competition of Orcs That Smorks, and this is a team that we were talking about that definitely was getting a lot of attention. This has the top 3 of this the 1 through 3 seeds on this team are incredibly strong just on its own. But then you add to the mix Mojo, Powell, and Clarity, and you realize, wow, this team is really strong from top to bottom. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. Neji Boston versus Based is going to be so hyped, though. I'm looking forward to that.
So
And Lotus Knight versus Kalis Luna, I think, as well. These are both 2 very top-notch players. Views versus Steffi, I think, is going to be the closest one to call, in my opinion. I mean, like that one, or let me rephrase that. That's the match that I'm the most confident is going to be really close, because I feel like with the first 2 matches, those could really be blowouts either way. I mean, like with either player could win, but I could
Mhm.
easily see it being a blowout from either side. Steffi versus Buse, I feel like is going to be extremely close no matter what. Mako versus Mojo Powell, I think is also going to be pretty close. These are 2 of the best 4 seeds in all of THL, so I really think that's going to that's going to be a really good one. And then Saku versus Clarity, I mean, I love to see both of these guys play. I hate that one of them has to lose, so yeah, we'll have to see with
Yeah.
that one.
I really hope that last week's match with HSA was sort of like a kick in the pants to get them revved up in high gear, remind them that they are in an absolutely killer conference in Gold Conference. This is not going to be any easier of a week. They've got Neji Boston in the 1, Lotus Knight in the 2, Views in the 3. It's just powerhouses all the way down, and I really want to see HSA pull themselves back up.
100% on that. I think like that's right. They played Do You Even Tonk last week
Yeah,
though, so I
they
blame
played
Justin
Tonk.
for that.
I
you can
really
also
want to
blame me.
see Mako.
I blame both of you actually.
What I really want to see is Mako, one of the strongest force seeds, not attack with frenzy minions into poisonous.
Oh. Oh.
I think he'll realize that.
I hate that I didn't quite get that at first.
Hmm. I mean,
Like,
Yeah.
I saw the replay and I said, "Hey, wait, this looks like a good play. Why is Blade Master Samuro is not clearing the board? Is this a replay bug? Is this did the game bug? Oh wait,
Oh,
oh,
that's
did
what
Tamuro
that
attack into a
triggered.
Scorpion or
Says
something?
Survive damage. No.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, I would love to see HSA bounce back if they were playing any team but the team that I'm captaining.
Right.
Because in Neji versus Base Think, that you think it's good once, we're getting it twice this week.
Mhm.
Because they are playing each other in Legacy and Hero. So good luck to both of them prepping two different lineups against each other. And I'm excited to see Kalis Luna versus how Lotus versus Kalis goes out. And I mean, every single matchup here seems like decently even, which is why I kind of wanted to highlight the match.
Yeah. I really want this to be a close one, regardless of who wins. Honestly,
exactly. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see it be a 5-0 blowout, and my team just like cements itself as a force to be reckoned with. But I kind of looking at realistically, it's gonna be close. Like, I'm curious to see how players like, because Steffi is in her second week back playing Constructed, and I know that she's had plenty of experience in this format. I think it's just getting her legs back underneath her, and getting those reps in and practicing, and I think she'll do just fine against Buse. Like, I think it'll be, like you said, close.
yeah. I think this will be a fun one.
Oh,
And I think now we should move on to the third and final match of Legacy that we'll be talking about. That would be Justin's match. Justin, would you like to discuss what you have picked?
Yeah, sure. So this is Defias Brotherhood against Chaos Theory. Two teams that I was a bit high on going into the season when I first saw their rosters on the reveal stream, who didn't quite get off the start they have wanted to this week. So reached out to Jester on Defias talking about it, and he said, okay, so tough matchup this week, but here's his theory. They're not losing to that dumb Chaos team. Yeah,
Of course he said that.
They didn't get off to the start they wanted to last week, but they're putting in the work this week. Great team atmosphere, even though they have a bunch of new players, but they're helping each other prep. He thinks they can turn this thing around, and that's going to start this week by beating up on Ron Mexico. Heard it here first.
First of all, you don't beat up on Ron Mexico. You give him a hug, and you're nice to him. You don't do bad things to Ron Mexico.
I mean, really,
Ron did no wrong.
This is a great meta for beating up on Ron. Priest is quite good again. It's easy. You know he's not bringing it. He's just handicapping himself.
Yeah, as long as
Ron finds a way, though. Ron will always find a way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hunter is pretty decent, and Demon Hunter is playable as well. But maybe one day we'll get the ultimate anti-Ron meta, where both of those two classes are dumpster and Priest is OP. Then he really would have trouble finding wins.
No, that'd be rough.
Yeah, if you just put on a mask so that he doesn't have a face to point at, then it's a huge nerf to Ron.
But yeah, on the Chaos Theory side, somehow Isocles is in the 3 there, so he's certainly going to be giving Jester a run for his money this week. We got Risen in the 4 as well.
I always say this every season that I feel like Chaos Theory is going to hit their stride at some point. I feel like they really are going to do that,
Yeah. I'm curious how GHP does this week, coming back for his first week of the season, as he last week solo Jazz subbed in for the team.
Yeah.
Then my Northeastern teammate Eeks in the 5 is Defias Brotherhood Ecom, who qualified for TESPA playoffs with a match to spare.
Nice.
Surprised to see him get off to an 0-1 start. He's a very solid player. I'd expect him to clean up in the 5 this season. So he's certainly
I had info that he was a very strong player.
Yeah. By the way, keeping on theme with very close matchups in PR, this one only has 108 PR difference between the two teams.
And it's
Can you
like all
imagine?
it's like all in the 4. Neb
Yeah,
versus
basically.
Risen. And
Well,
that's
Risen only having 256 PR doesn't make any
no,
sense to me
he's had a lot of
because
rough seasons lately though, I'll be honest.
but that's the thing. His PR going down that much is nuts because,
Yeah.
like, if you guys remember, I think it was 1 season or 2 seasons ago, he was like playing like he did play a match in the 1 seed.
He
I
did,
remember
yeah,
because of
he-
like how much they were shifting. So
Mhm.
I can't. I'm like very puzzled by this to be honest. But I also know he'll actually find his way and get back to his gloriousness.
Additionally, I just want to point out that in Gold Conference, there's actually like a ton of really close matchups based on points. We have an team versus the Stubs are the two top point scorers. Then the Even Talk versus Hot Sylphs, the next two top point scorers.
Mm.
And then Defias Brotherhood and Chaos Theory, this group right here is the second to least point scorers. And then finally, Hearthstone Academy versus Orcs at Smorks are the two teams that have the least amount of points. It's random, but it's a very big coincidence that we've got all these close point scorers facing out this week.
Yeah, but it makes the developing of the season early on very interesting because then you kind of wonder, all right, if they're getting these arguably really tough matchups out of the way, how are they going to fare as the season progresses? So I'm very curious as to how this is going to go.
And before we move on, I'd also like to say that last week I mentioned that Jester had a YouTube, and I sort of painted him as someone who didn't have the chops. And you know what, Jester?
Damn.
You proved me wrong in Pro. Proved me wrong in Legacy. Come on. I'm a 3C just like you.
I smell shenanigans. All right, I think now is the time we move on to Hero Series. Am I right?
Yeah. I'm all set and ready to go into Hero. So, first match on the docket is going to be the one that Geranium Battle has picked out, which actually has a result in some class matchups.
Oh yeah, it's 1337 squad again. It's going to be hard for me to ever not feature 1337 squad. And then they're up against Murloc and Load, and we do have the results of the 5th seed Skirt Reynolds versus Sunday, who is subbing in as a win for Sunday. I just want to point out, Maulstar in the 3 is going to show that he's completely crazy for 3rd seed. He's even probably going to, or he might make it to 2 seed after this match. But I also want to bring up Turtle. Turtle's in 3 different series, and unfortunately, he didn't do so well in any of those 3 series. And this is sort of the week where is Turtle going to come back? Is he going to show us that this is not too high of a workload, or is this going to be too much for him, and is going to let it slip? I'm going to keep my eyes out for Turtle, especially in Hero.
Turtle was making a joke last week about how he went like he lost barely any he lost more matches last week than he did all of last season. I believe is what I understood.
I mean, that makes sense because
It was
he.
not just match score; it was game score.
Yeah.
Not only was he winning
I was gonna say
last season,
Justin
he
knows that better than I do.
Yeah, he didn't
He
lose that
lost
much
as
at
many
all.
games in 1 week as he did games all last season.
Which is
Albeit-
insane. That's just insane, really. So
Yeah, it's insane how bad last week was compared to how he's done in the past.
compared to his last season. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
So
yeah, this is gonna be. I can tell that 1337 squad is going to try to bring it back after an unfortunate week 1 loss to the always lovely Tampam Surf Slam. Just throwing that out there.
Just throwing that out there. Yeah, that's
I'll
something-
also say I definitely had faith in DeCharmo to beat Turtle last week, but I was very surprised that was a sweep. That was like that really threw me off.
Mhm.
So I'm like I think like this is Turtle. He's got to bring it back. C-Mac I think is going to bring it back. Like Murloc and Load, good team. But I think 1337 squad is like, that was the kick in the pants they needed. They are gonna be they're coming back
Yeah.
with a vengeance.
What is Turtle without Broom Paladin? Very sad.
I mean, that's a valid question right there.
We're seeing just that. He took away his broom and he can't sweep.
I
like it.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I mean, I am
But,
very interested in this matchup. Sundee's PR on the screen is not his actual PR, but
Yeah, I was
his
gonna say.
299 PR is I'd say that's even low for how good Sundee is as a player. But having a good matchup with Skirt Reynolds, I was informed that it was a reverse sweep. So very competitive hero match. To go 5 games. Unlike the next match that we're about to see that has a result itself. Or no, actually no, that's 2 matches from now.
Oh.
But yes, no, I'm not very excited to talk about that one. But we do have our next match, that we're about to go to, and that is going to be the JR's match.
Hell yeah. So we're going to be talking about. Oh, wait a second.
Ask HS versus Dabs.
There we go. Ask HS versus Dabs on him. Both of these teams lost last week, and I was definitely surprised by that. These were definitely 2 strong-looking teams coming in, and they definitely had some tough matchups. But I think I was saying at least for Dabs on them, I felt pretty confident about their chances of winning. And now this week we get to talk about Ask HS, who honestly are looking stacked this season. Mr. Python is playing in the 2, and Neji Boston is in the 1. That alone should instill fear in your eyes at this point. Like, holy crap! And then you've got the wonderful Doc Bomdi in the 3 seed. That is a solid person to have there. Kel, of course, being in the 4. Love the man to pieces. And then Doobies in the 5. So I mean, Ask HS as usual, looking very strong top to bottom. So I feel like this, they did get 13 points last week, which is a solid amount of points for a loss.
Yes.
But they're obviously, you want wins. You want wins, and they're gonna hope to get a win against Dabs on him.
Yeah.
But this is a team that's definitely gonna give them a run for their money. DeWin is in the 2 seed, and we've talked about this. Like, his PR doesn't reflect it, but he could definitely hold his own in the 2.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
So just some info for Dooble's match. Dooble's was up actually 2-0 in his hero match, and he ended up.
Sorry, Doobles, not Doobies.
Yeah, and he ended up unfortunately disconnecting. However, due to the new rules for disconnections, the 2 points were counted for Doobles, where it's not counted as a DQ. Where the 2 points.
Well, no. If you get DC'd in the middle of a match, if you've played games already, it's not considered to be a sweep.
Yeah.
It's only if that happens in the before the match starts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, so Doobles got his 2 points. Unfortunate disconnect that caused him to take a loss, but I mean, Ask HS, like this team, I think Doobles is going to show to be a pretty strong 5 this season. I think he had an all right season for his first season last time, and generally
Ask HS had a good run last season, so I would say so.
And he is going against Buse, who I am a bit partial to as one of the legacy players on the team that I captain.
Also, weekly reminder: Buse is a 5 in hero, and his PR is more than double in legacy.
Yes, it is. He's a 4. He's like
weekly
429.
reminder, people.
Yeah, there we go. JR's weekly reminder. Ask HS having Neji and Mr. Python. I would wager that they're probably not going to lose 5 matches between the 2 of them all season. They're both that good.
That's a really stacked 1-2 right there. That is ridiculous.
And Dr. BOMD is a solid 3. The way, like, Ask HS essentially got to take Mr. Python and Dr. BOMD and move them down a seed for the season and added Neji with the extra PR that they had. So I'm very I've been excited for Ask HS since I knew that Neji had joined the team. And dabs on him again. I want to see. I know that Seth is a very good wild player, and seeing the adjustment that he's gonna make, I'm gonna say he'll probably play very well. A rough first week for the entire team, and knowing base teams, they tend to like to bounce back very well.
I'd like to note that you forgot to mention Kel on
No.
SKHS,
No.
who got 100% of the votes to be MVP in the 4 seed.
That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, SKHS is absolutely stacked.
I also wouldn't be surprised if both Python and Dr. Bomdi do a bit better this season with both of them stepping back from pro and playing in one less series. I think Bomdi, if I remember correctly, is he playing in Legacy or is he just captaining?
He's just captaining.
So I think Legacy. I think Hero is going to be his only standard series that he's playing in.
No, yes, he's playing Wild.
Right.
So
know what I said, standard. But I think he was
Oh
playing
yeah,
Wild
yeah,
last season
standard.
too,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if he played Wild last season, but yeah, I know he does play Wild. I've got to face him in a Wild series.
I thought he did last season. I could be wrong. So
yeah,
if I am, ignore what I said.
sure, that's all good. Yeah, I forget if Justin gave thoughts on this match.
I don't have any really outside of what you guys said. Two strong teams. I'm surprised they're at 0-1, and unfortunately that means one of them will be 0-2 after this week.
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah.
which one it is.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
there's Ask HS had a 14-13 last week. They like one of the closest possible outcomes of a match. Right. So next up, we're gonna go to Justin's match that he picked out. I wish we could just skip this, but we can't.
Yeah, so this one we're gonna actually spend a lot of time. There's a lot of talking points to talk about.
Heck yeah.
It's actually one of the only ones with a match in, so we can go into real depth about that.
Well,
that match
I can actually I will more than happily go over.
So talk us through where you messed up.
Where I messed up? Oh, I messed up in the bans. I'll be honest. I think a lot of it had to do with the ban. In general, so yeah, I'll let you. You can run through the. You can run through all the matchups, and then I'll give a brief rundown of my match.
Sure. I mean, two teams starting 1-0, a lot of points, some hype coming through. A Yellow Dart dropping the sweep on you, unfortunately, in the first part of this match, and we have classes in as well for Isaac.
I feel like part of the problem there is that Yellow Dart's a 5 seed. That's just
that
downright
might
criminal.
be part of it too. What, he's at 300 PR? He barely even gained any PR for beating Feesh because Feesh PR for some reason in Hero.
Oh yeah, well I had to face a gauntlet in the 5.
I call hacks.
I had to face a gauntlet in the 5 seed last season in Orange, so
Skirt and
Sounds about
Skirt,
Madievs
yeah.
and RoboCats.
Skirt, Madievs,
Anyway,
RoboCats,
yeah.
and Saku.
F2L has the 4 players with the same PR and then a 5 seed team comp, whereas Data Legend has 4 players with the same PR and a 1 seed comp. So kind of similar styles going at each other. Anyways, we see classes in for Isocles versus Hockey Boys as well. Isocles bringing the Warlock, but Hockey with no Priest. So I figure that won't look that great for Isocles, though it is Hero, so he doesn't actually have to win with the Warlock.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, I talked to Yellow Dart about this, who said he didn't think this match would be very tough. F2L are so easy that he swept Feesh with absolutely no prep. He's actually in the hospital right now with his wife having twin little darts. So
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, that's why I played early. Is because twins, Yellow Dart's twins are going to be on the way.
Yellow Dart's having twins?
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
Jesus Christ, he didn't tell me.
Well,
I had
Yeah.
no idea.
tomorrow. No, it's tomorrow. It's supposed to be Thursday.
Well, regardless, like, my God, congratulations are in order.
Yes.
Agreed. Dad Legend, the army grows too larger.
I was gonna say, like, isn't he's already got, I know, multiple kids, I think. So I'm just like, oh my God, you're just like further being outnumbered by your children right now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, he also mentioned that 2 kids, 2 hero titles
Oh,
after
never
this
mind. He's going
season.
from 1 to 3. Okay, so he's still getting outnumbered, but just not
Yes,
until
yes.
after the
Oh, okay.
birth.
Yeah. Now the three in your
Um,
now the three in your name can stand for how many children you have.
the only
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And the 3-0 is also for how
And
many
the
children?
3-0. Yeah, the 3-0 is for exactly the smack. The I wouldn't call it. I don't think I got absolutely destroyed, but it does show that I got swept, and I did get swept by Dart's Priest.
Aw.
But so realistically, if you look at how I banned versus how he banned very well, because realistically, looking at matchups, his Priest had a very easy time kind of maneuvering the match, where I had Hunter, Paladin, Warrior, all decks that tend to struggle against control decks. Rush Warrior,
Mhm.
not necessarily like could I had some chances to get there, and I just came short, pretty much every match, and then the I think the Warrior match came down to just the fact that Yellow Dart was able to pretty much assemble Cthulhu, and I wasn't able to put enough pressure. So yeah, very
Was
well.
Yellow Dart running Golden Elemental, the priest yellow card for the synergy?
I
A light
won't.
shower?
I won't. Yeah, we both ran out of cards in that match. I played Rush Warrior, but I won't relay any cards within the deck.
All I think that should be said is that it's very Priest is in now a very interesting place, knowing that Control Priest kind of works a bit differently now that Galakron is rotated out, where it kind of basically gave you, all right, here's some like infinite minion generation, basically, to really stall things out. And now, like, there's a lot of card generation still with Priest, but it certainly functions a bit differently.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, Yellow Dart also said that the only thing he's worried about this week is that the smack talk will be one-sided because it takes F2L 2.5 business days to reply to anything. Sure enough,
What?
unfortunately, his prediction was correct, as no one from F2L has gotten back to me yet.
Oh, you could have
So
asked
perhaps
me.
I messaged people too late.
Yeah, next
but-
time that happens and I'm on it, you can ask my thoughts.
Okay. Okay. I mean, do you,
but I
do
mean,
you want
I get to give my
later?
thoughts. I think so. I will say for the Isocles versus Hockey classes that Hockey accurately predicted the Warlock from Isocles, which means that he did not bring Priest. I'm not going to give any more obviously clues on our prep, but I think our team's going to do. I think our team's going to stand very good chances in all the matches. And it's just going to come down to who can execute between the two teams. I mean, every matchup's pretty good in this one. And I think I don't know. I think that we're gonna take. I think it'll be 3-2. I would favor my team. I think Catharsis versus Starlights will be really good. I would say Catharsis seems to be really putting in good work, and so he finished out last week getting a sweep win in over his opponent. And I think he'll continue that. Itachi versus Risen's going to be actually on stream, and I really am excited to see how that goes. And Rebob versus Corridon. Corridon's been putting in work, and going up against against one
Big
of
Daddy Corden,
yeah,
right?
sorry,
Corodad.
Corodad, yeah, and then going against Robopson. So yeah, I mean, I just think my team's gonna win. Like, I don't think it's gonna be easy, but I think our team's gonna win. I put our team at a big deficit, getting swept.
I mean, my question is just will Itachi and Catharsis switch places again after this week?
That all depends on wins and loss, on who wins and who loses, or how much PR they gain for a win.
I like the fact that both of these teams are teams that can easily have a lot of moving around, minus like one of the seeds. For Dad Legend, it's like everybody but the one seed is gonna move around a lot, and for F2L Black, it's gonna be
Mhm.
everybody but Fish in the 5.
Yeah, so we actually had seat swaps this week where Hockey and Catharsis played the 3 and 4, and now they're playing the 1 and 2. And Itachi moved from the 1 to the 3, and Rebob from the 2 to the 4. So you'll be seeing these names bounce around a lot depending on results. But I will be anchoring. I will hopefully anchor us in the 5 for the rest of the season.
That is the hope.
Yes.
That is certainly the hope.
I'd like to see my PR go above 50.
I mean, look, F2L Black looking good and solid. So you guys got a good shot here. But
Cool.
Dad Legend, of course, they are killing it as usual. So we'll see what happens with this, because I think Hero is going to be especially exciting, knowing this is going to be everybody just plays each other, and it's going to be one long regular season.
Yep.
I would have asked whether Dr. Fish was going to get Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row, but
even
yeah.
if I pulled out a shock win over, even if I would say shock win, but even if I had managed to defeat Yellow Dart, I generally don't think there's players get 2 weeks in a row Player of the Week.
It's rare.
Yeah, it would have to be special.
They like to keep it diverse, and for good reason.
Yeah. But I was very honored to get the Player of the Week for Hero. So yeah, I think it's time to go to our commercial break.
of course.
Duranium Battle has been prepping for this. He is so ready.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Tavern. If you're enjoying our show, make sure you check out Around the Sun on Mondays and Ronnie Tuesday on Heart Center on some day that you'll never guess. Is that not enough content for you? Where we stream THL matches each night from Thursday to Sunday starting at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. All evening match schedules are to be determined by cash and player availability. No purchase is necessary and void where prohibited. But wait, that's not all. We also have incredible matches weekend afternoons on Schoolstone, and precise days, times, and days are subject to availability. Please consider subscribing to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to have come with the various costs of operating a website and improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. And I see someone asking in the chat, what is Twitch Prime? See, they just asked it. Well, if you have Amazon Prime or Prime Gaming, you can sub to the channel for free. Subscribers with a THL emoticon, as well as a lovely THL chat badge and access to some lovely emotes. In fact, here is Rashizuna's emote, which is swimmingly supreme. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, please check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website is at teamarthlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord at Team Arth Legends, and the THL POW podcast is wherever podcasts are sold.
Awesome. Yes,
I approve of all of that.
And I will throw this in now, and I will throw this in at the end. Class submissions are tonight for players who have only joined this week. We generally do not have Thursday submissions. It is Wednesday night submissions. So get your classes in. Do not, and if you had a bye week last week, submit or you will be disqualified, and that is not a good thing to happen.
No. Fun fact. I don't know if I don't think I mentioned. No, I didn't mention this before. I almost got DQ'd from my legacy match because I was so exhausted after the show. This was Thursday. I was so exhausted, I almost forgot about submitting my classes because I'd already done it for Hero. Forgot because my match had been played already, but forgot about Legacy. I went to bed. I passed out. I woke up at about 2 a.m., started to go to bed, and then I realized, oh crap, I still have to submit for Legacy.
I'm glad for you that you got that done.
You have no idea like what that feeling was. It was just like like it just oh god, it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was intense, but I was grateful that it all worked out. And I didn't want to have to be punished by our all beloved ridiculous hat.
True. And Corridon is talking in the chat about something that was very, very painful for us.
Yeah.
I even talked up Automated Button on Tavern Talk last week, and then he just didn't submit, so he got DQ'd. Maybe we'll see him perform. But.
Yeah, and because you DQ'd, he actually has to make sure he submits this week, or it can happen again. Correct. I'm pretty sure. So I'm sure his team will get him all. Well, actually, no, he doesn't play this week. I'm pretty sure. Because he's on standard THL Degenerates, so they have the bye.
Oh yeah, that works out.
Yep. I'll just mention bye week teams for Legacy, standard THL Degenerates in gold, and in red, I believe it is. Oh, I'm forgetting, but it's a Meme Dream Team. That's right.
Yep.
I got it right. Next, we're gonna move into Pro. Pro is up now. We're gonna start with Geranium Battles match, but first, Faction and Aeon are the bye team weeks this week.
Okay.
Yep.
So we got Mankirk's Multiple Wives versus Brushy Tuna. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to put yet another tuna in the chat.
Yep.
Also, don't forget, Wild 9 versus Lotus Knight was already played, I believe.
It was play. Okay, well let's go
Let me just double check that.
grab those results if you have them.
I think it's
Lotus was
yes,
right.
Lotus
was
won
playing
3-1 against Wild 9. Yep.
Oh, congrats to Lotus Knight.
Yeah. Brushy Tuna, I think this team I'm shocked lost last week. I feel like they're gonna bring it back this week.
Yeah. So Lotus now 2-0 in pro, which is great to see for him. And we have Ducharmo, who won last week, with Based, Ron, and Isocles all taking losses. But on the other side, Mankrik's Multiple Wives put up a massive week against F2L's Scarlet.
Yeah, I think Nashio Shao is going to perform again. I didn't believe in Jester, but I should have believed in Jester in pro. He's showing that he can still put up the work. And he also made a call out post against Ron Mexico in the Discord. So he's very confident.
Oh yeah, that was quite a good post.
I love the banter. I definitely love the banter.
Yeah, I mean, I've told Jester that I think he's one of like the 5 toughest opponents I've had to face in THL in my 2 seasons, which is true. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to see him get to continue on in pro and going up against my AFG teammate in Ron Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah, I was hoping that there wasn't going to be a result yet, so that I could talk about all the different classes and the decks. But Lotus Knight just went ahead and stole it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to analyze these classes, I would say that Lotus Knight looks actually quite favored. I mean, it probably won't be a sweep, but I'm guessing he wins convincingly, something like a 3-1 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it depends on his ban, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the Druid from Wild 9 just looks so strong that, if that stays in, it could spell doom for Lotus Knight.
Great. Yeah.
Another thing to note is that the captains of both teams lost last week. So, are they going to be able to lead the ship from the bottom of their parties?
I hope so. For their sake, obviously. I don't really have any stakes in this match. I know all of the players on Team Brushy Tuna. I know 4 of the players on Mancrease Multiple Wives. I do not know much about MPV. But I know Lefty. I have played him in Legacy. I know Wild 9. I know Milo. I know Jester. Yeah, these are all really, really good players. Some of them, most of them play in lower seeds in PR series. But they also might just be better at playing. Some players are just better at open deckless series. Or they just haven't played in THL long enough to have their PRs kind of get better and everything. I know Lefty's a long time player in THL though, so good to see him winning pro.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm very curious. Like Mankrik's Multiple Wives they're definitely looking like a sleeper team, but they got momentum on their side. Let's see what they can do.
Right. So next match we have on the docket is Yar's match 4 pro.
Swagoy versus Hype Horizon. Now, obviously, Hype Horizon kind of needs no introduction. Same team, same exact roster for the 3rd consecutive season. They have been amazing all the way through. They had they 2 seasons ago they were our champions. Last season they made it all the way to the top to the semifinals, losing to the eventual champions of For the Boys. And now coming into this season, I feel pretty much the exact same way I've always felt about them. They're a really strong team. I'm definitely surprised that Group Process wound up getting a tie with them last week, and now they find themselves, 0-1. But 14 points is not a bad first week, and these guys are still looking to bring it. And then on the other side, we've got Swagoy. Now, this season, Swagoy only has one team, and I'll be honest, I think that might end up working to their advantage. Looking at this roster, because I feel like this is going to be one of the more slept on teams this season. They got a good, strong first week win against Para los Chicos.
Para los chicos, yeah.
Para los Chicos.
Diamond's pro team. It's not
Right.
not quite For the Boys, but
No, I was going to say he actually
that-
picked up Mr. Python and Dr. Bombdy to my surprise, because
I don't-
but I'm glad he did, because those are two very good pickups. Are any of the former
no.
members of For the Boys playing in pro or no?
They're not playing on that team if they are playing.
I haven't seen any of them, so I couldn't really.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure. But obviously, yeah, we've got when it comes to Swagoy, mostly recognizable names: No Glocko, Jared Pollitt, Linthesis, Cookie Monst, and Edelweiss. All very strong players. I feel like these are all great people to have on your team. So, I think Swagoy was obviously in pretty good shape last season, but maybe this is a more well-rounded roster. Maybe this is really taking the best of Swagoy, putting them on one team. I'm excited to see what they can do, because I think that there's a lot of potential here, and I want to definitely see Swagoy succeed as they're a great organization.
Yeah.
But will they beat Hype Horizon? I mean, that's gonna be a tough task for sure.
Yeah. I think the way at least the matchups play out, where the top 3 seeds for both teams have won already, so all these players have had are riding a win, and the other people are both of the other players are looking to bounce back, and so it'll be very interesting. There are no deck list submissions from Hype Horizon to complete the classes, even though 3 members of Swagoy have submitted. So unfortunately, no decks to look at and to really to see how they will play out. I think I might favor Hype Horizon here. But I think that if Swagoy really puts in the prep work, they can definitely compete.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I think Geranium Battle just in time. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
I mean, if D Money can release a rap, then I give him a bit of an edge. But otherwise, I'm not sure how his chances are going to be.
It has to be about rice bowls, because he lost a rice bowl last week.
True.
Justin, what about you?
And nothing more to add on to what you guys already said.
Cool. All right, then. Lastly, we got one more pro match, and that's going to be Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich versus Team No Pros here. Justin, do the honors.
Yeah, so we have the returning finalists in Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich, swapping out one competitive Hearthstone grinder in Bobby X for another in GR Jim. Actually, I don't know how that's pronounced. I've only seen it written. But I've seen it written in many places
Gur Jim,
before.
because that would be funny, but
it would be funny. Regardless, I've seen it many places before, because he's certainly a very capable player who's gone to several Master Stores, I think. I've definitely seen him High Legend as well. And against No Pros here, who got off to a little bit disappointing start, but in X-Kume, they have a very capable player, also obviously coming in as well, going back against Agent PWE and your Mumpkid, who have done well in previous seasons. And you have Pasca in there too, because why not? So we see this week that classes are in for Mick.
Result is in, by the way, as well.
Ooh,
3-2 for Mick.
Le Mick.
So Avi So it's now
Senor Meat.
it's 4-2 in favor of Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich. It's just the
Oh
result.
my.
The result either came in. The result came in after I took the screenshot.
Yeah, I was really hoping that we were going to get Justin's thoughts on the teams before that, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's
Yeah,
in
I mean,
co-op.
I was gonna say that I would think Mick would be slightly favored against Avi, but probably only narrowly, like with probably like a 5 game or something like that. I don't know,
Mhm.
just pulling that one at
True.
thin air. Yeah, interested to see how the rest of the series plays out. The one inside info I have from Agent PWE is he said that Gur Jim doesn't necessarily have an NA collection, so he was wondering a little bit of how he'll fare against such a seasoned THL player as your Mumpkid. But I think someone as good as Jim is, you can hamper them a little bit and then not have all the cards you want, and still, okay, wow, their 60% win rate is down to a 58. Who cares? They're way better than everyone else. Whatnot. Anyways, do you guys have thoughts on this?
I mean, this one looks. I really like No Pros here. I feel like as a team they're very strong, but obviously it's hard not to bet in favor of Popeye spicy chicken sandwich. Former finalist from last season, very stacked roster. I mean it's they're definitely a team to watch out for. That's for sure.
6 matches played now for that team, and everyone on them has a win.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I certainly expected this team to get off to a very strong start in Popeyes. No pros here. I know I know a lot of these players, and they're all strong. The only one I don't really know is Xkume, and I'm pretty sure. And that's because if there's somebody that's high legend grinder, I'm not exactly aware of all of the players. But obviously Pasca, Agent, your Bump Kid, and Avi are all well known players, and I think like matchups like Honest Zay versus Agent, that's a really good matchup. And yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Avi versus Mick is I still think it was probably a really great match. They're both extremely strong players.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's really just
Looked
my
very
thoughts.
close. I mean, based on the game score.
Mhm.
I mean, last week it was almost no winners here, and that's very surprising to me based on no pretty serious lineup. I really think that the rest of the team is going to have a great rest of the season. Just maybe not this week.
Yeah. I can see that. Like,
Yeah.
Popeyes is a super strong team. I would favor them actually pretty heavily in this match overall.
I think No Pros here is going to have a pretty good season, but yeah, Popeyes is going to be a rough matchup for them for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think we move on to Wild now, shall we?
Yeah, I was just saying, any last thoughts on Pro as a whole so far? If you have any, I mean, if not, we'll just obviously go right into Wild. All right, go.
We're good.
For the Wild, Wild Series time. We have Geranium Battles match on the screen.
Yeah, so that's Wild THL Fanatics versus the Mad Scientists, both of which unfortunately did not win their first week, and I was actually surprised by both of those results. But it's no matter. We're going to continue on. I thought Catharsis was going to win. I thought Turtle was going to win. I thought Electric Sheep City was going to win, but now we're here. So instead, we have Dr. Bomb-D versus Catharsis. I think is going to be a very close matchup. I think that this is once again, is Turtle going to prove himself, and is Turtle going to start now winning in all 3 series and putting in the work against Siege? I mean, I just think that it's going to be some very hype matches from these sets.
Yeah. I am curious to see how how this matchup ends up playing out. Like, so just kind of looking at things, I would favor Slad over Number Theory. Slad's a super strong wild player. Like you said, Dr. BOMD versus Catharsis will be close. And I wouldn't be surprised if either. It's one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised to know if either player won. Like, Turtle versus Siege. It still actually be a really good test for Turtle because Siege is also an extremely strong wild player. So I want to see. So like, if Turtle can pull out the win here, it'd be really good for him, and I hope it would be a really big confidence boost because he's such a good. He's a strong player.
Yeah,
and
just in general.
And I love that he's
Extremely, yeah.
expanding out to wild. So it's cool to see like players who aren't necessarily like known for being a wild player going into the series and seeing how they do. I think Labor Sangre, I think if he I was kind of told that he memed around a bit with his lineup this last week. If he tightens that up and just gets a strong lineup out there, pending that I don't really know much about his opponent. I think that I'm doing pretty much just fine in Sheep City versus Kenray. I don't know too much about either player. I mean, I know Sheep City's like a decent enough, like he's a good player. Obviously, I think anybody playing in these series are pretty good players. So it's just interesting to see how both these teams bounce back against each other.
And just one note, I know Turtle used to play Wild extensively. He has had Marty B on his friends list since way back. He's gotten like top 10 Wild before. He took a break from it because TESPA and it's standard in college. But
okay.
So he still has a Wild collection and is interested in the format.
So this is kind of Turtles. This is like his origins. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, if there's one series he would succeed in the most, I would. If you were asking me, I would think it would be Wild.
Nice. Cool. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I it's always cool to learn the backstories of players. So yeah, I mean, Turtle vs Siege is going to be which should be a barn burner then. Like, so I'm excited. Obviously, no classes in, so I can't say so we don't really know exactly. There are ways to hard count. Like, lineups are there's so much easier ways to get hard counter lineups in Wild than there are in Pro for open deck lists. Right. I want to make sure that I got the matches in order.
Yeah, that's yet another thing of please submit your classes because then that gives us more to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So I did get it correct. Ignore the sheet. JR's match is the one that's on mine. So the next match up is going to be Everyone's a Winner versus Anoyo.
I mean, yeah, Everyone's a Winner, returning champions, starting off very strong. Then you've got a Noyo team, who's also had a consistently strong run. This one's gonna be fun. Obviously, I think for a Noyo team, I think the only change is Mike V came back, right?
Yes, they made some changes during the season last season, but this is the entire team returning, besides Mike V coming in, and I forget who subbed in for the team last season, but their sub MTG Squirrel no longer being on the team.
Yeah, there we go. And then Everyone's a Winner, of course, same exact team as last season.
Mm-hmm.
Understandably so. So I think, I mean, this one's a tough call. Both teams had off to a strong start. I'm not so familiar with Wild as far as how these players play, like as far as the current meta. So I don't really have much else to add. I think at this time, I'm just thinking this is going to be a close one because both of these teams are extremely strong and have been pretty consistent as far as their results go.
Yeah.
I would like to add that there is class information for Mad at Arms versus Absolute.
Oh, nice.
Mad at Arms or Jirax at Arms has Mage, Paladin, Warlock, Warrior, and Absolute has Paladin, Priest, Warlock, Warrior. So just Mage for Priest, essentially.
Take a look at these decks. So looks like Absolute has brought Reno Warlock, Reno Priest, Hand Buff Paladin, and Pirate Warrior. Looks like Mad at Arms has brought Reno, just regular Reno Secret Mage. Looks like it's a Reno Secret Mage. Looks like Darkglare Warlock, a Pirate Warrior, and Hand Buff Paladin. So double Hand Buff Paladin, double Pirate Warrior, and then
You mean Hand Buff Warrior?
Hand Buff Paladin and Pirate Warrior.
Hand Buff oh, right, because this is wild.
It's wild.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Cool. So those are the classes. Thank you for the follow to the channel. Yeah, I mean, looking at these decks, I think it's just interesting how because Absolute has gone double Reno lists with double like control Reno lists with two kind of aggressive, with like kind of a mid-range and then a aggressive deck. And Mad at Arms has gone for more of an aggressive with two aggro decks, one control deck, and a mid-range. I guess you call Hand Buff Paladin aggressive, but it's kind of in that middle line where it's running like 4 and 5 drops. So I think I would favor Absolute's lineup just a little bit, but it all depends on the ban. Ban will be huge in this matchup, I think. Yeah.
Extremely so. I would also like to note that it's crazy. 6J or JJJ was almost undefeated last season, and now
he went
he's
fully undefeated.
Defeated.
Yeah. I was messaging with Sunday in the Tavern Talk chat before.
Yeah, no, he went completely undefeated last season. He won his championship match, and then Everyone's a Winner beat F12 Iridian in 3 matches.
Yeah. So 6J went all season undefeated, 10-0, or maybe less than 10-0 depending on the amount of matches he actually ended up playing in playoffs. And I said Sunday, like, I thought everyone was a winner. Keck wait. But honestly, I want to see how 6J bounces back. I know what happened. He got super countered in his lineup is kind of what happened.
J5 seed, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it really background? I wonder who's okay. Hopefully it's not me, because I can't tell. If
Shouldn't be me.
Okay. So we're gonna go to our next match.
Our last match.
Our last match of the evening. It's going to be Nothing Can Stop Us, Nothing Can Stop Us versus Crab Riders. I want to go over this match. Because I think Nothing Can Stop Us is an extremely strong team. I think that this is their. If I was to put the power ranks in a team, I think that this team is a top 5 team in all of Wild. Along with the reigning champs, Everyone's a Winner, F12 Viridian, Hair Club, and Anoyo. Just kind of based off of what I know, in the way that these teams have kind of stuck together. But having a team that has Seth, Glare, Quake Lord, No Age, and Yo Daddy, that's a very strong team. Crab Riders, on the other hand, has Boo Hooligan, Casual R, Reese, the reigning Wild Player of the Week, Risa, Doc McButt, and Jumpy. And I love that this is the battle of the Murlocs, the battle of the Murgles. And I'm interested to see how this plays out, because I wish I don't know so much about how each individual player plays, but I know that they're all strong, and that I'm pretty sure that Quake Lord brought Dead Man's Hand Warrior last week, and thus is and ended up winning with it. So shout outs to him for doing that. Yeah, I want to see how Crab Riders continues on. If they could put up a really good showing against Nothing Can Stop Us, they're going to be looking pretty good as a dark horse team during the season potentially. And I do think nothing can stop us should take down this win in the end with I don't know. I'd say it's a 3-2 overall, but it could be a 4-1.
Now, normally I would say that the Nothing Can Stop Us would have the edge, but it does buff the opponent's team.
Oh, it does. It buffs. It does. You're right. For namesake, yes.
But yeah, Seth for Christ is in hero, but he's crazy and wild. So I'm definitely looking out for that match against Blue.
Yeah. Right. So we have finished up all our matches. We're going to go back to the screen as long as I remember to move all our Discord stuff back so the cams are actually showing. All right, so we are going to close out this. We're going to close this out with an interview of Justin. It's so interesting because, we have Geranium. We have kind of the 4 hosts who have been here for the last season. And this one, obviously. And I don't think we actually ever did an interview of Justin, so I'm curious to see what questions that we actually have. I do not have them much in front of me, so if I think Geranium should go ahead and lead this interview segment for us.
Oh, of course. So, Justin, we've seen a stunning trend recently of THL championships teams breaking apart and changing drastically. Keeping this in mind, why is Pure Paladin the nuts?
It's a little weird. It's almost like the starting clause of this question has nothing to do with the actual question. Yeah, I mean, I think THL, that's happened historically. It's not like I've been playing for a while, but obviously if you win the championship, you have to win a decent number of games, and if your team's near the PR cap at the beginning, that means they're probably over at the end. So, especially if you have new players playing the series with that 1.5 times PR variance adjustment for their first season, and you win a lot of games, your PR is going to go up a ton. Yeah, second part, why is Pure Paladin the nuts? I think only you can answer that one.
Oh, is this my interview question?
Yeah, it's about to be.
Oh.
Well,
What is so great about Pure Paladin with only High Abbess Urel?
High Exarch.
Yeah, that being the only pure card in standard.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a shame that everything else rotated.
Put some more respect on her name, and actually get the right name. But I mean, that swing, 8 health, 8 health with one card, 7 health with another card, 5 health every single turn with one weapon. There's nothing that captures my heart more.
Yeah, I mean, before it was why would you play that card when you could just run only 2 neutrals called Penflinger? But maybe there's something to it now after the pen nerf. I've seen some Master Tour qualifier lineups bring paladins that are 30 paladin cards but just don't rerun Urel. It's just not good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does that count as pure paladin even if you don't have any payoffs?
I mean, it
yeah.
technically does.
Is that still pure? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I will say that I think that there's just good enough neutrals where I wouldn't want to run a deck that just runs 30 paladin cards alone.
But I'll actually continue the interview though. I didn't mean to interview myself.
Oh no, you're good.
Justin, which had a higher peak, your true PR or your stock holdings?
I'm not a big stock market investor, so
Neither am I.
Where's your hog stock going?
Apples. Yeah, that's true. I have the meme a month and a half ago, or actually longer than that now, 3 months ago, during the GME pump was with some friends I had was, hey, we need to get ahead of the next Reddit meme pump. Let's buy up stocks with funny tickers and hope Reddit meme pumps them in advance. So I somewhat convinced a friend to throw. I don't remember how much he ended up throwing into Harley Davidson because their stock ticker is Hog, and completely coincidentally, they've had a number of good earnings reports, so it's gone up quite a bit. So he's
Nice.
giving me a 1% commission. So we've calculated out a few times of like $100 he has in it, how much it would have to go up for me to become a millionaire for my 1% commission, and the answer is a lot. But we're part of the way there.
Yeah.
Okay. The deadline to submit choices is midnight PST. I know we've been talking about submitting decks a lot, but you usually submit much before that deadline. Why is your choice of submitting much earlier on time or in time while others are late?
That's a good question. I mean, as long as you're in front of the deadline, I guess you're not late, but not everyone can be always just in time. That's very difficult.
I went to the food cellar.
You can submit before some weeks, but not all. I'm really not sure. That might be a question. Might just be a philosophical question. If a tree falls just in time, does it really make a sound?
I got all the frozen food.
I don't know.
Is there
I preemptively buy.
if the tree falls and there's no clock around to time it, was it in time?
Oh, that's true. Oh my gosh, my mind is getting
Well, if
blown.
we're not considering the relativistic effects of the mass movement and other things that I'm sure you all understand, and I don't need to. And that's but yeah.
Yeah. Our minds have already processed this information on levels higher than the street can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I have a question. I'll do one interview question myself, and this is from Molestar in chat. How many geraniums have you battled?
Sunday or Monday or
Yeah, obviously for Max. How many geraniums have you battled?
Okay, fine. I thought that was asking for Justin. That's the thing is usually the geraniums are on my side, so they're the ones going to battle for me. I personally don't choose to battle geraniums, but if you're asking sort of how many geraniums have I sent out to battle for me, the answer is 0.
And I don't know who this is supposed to be for, but Justin wanted me to ask what soccer club do you support? I am not sure if that's for Justin or for Geranium.
It was definitely for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I supported Red Bulls growing up as like American because I grew up near there and went to their games a bunch as a kid.
Yeah.
It was like when they had
Big
Thierry
same.
Henry, which was really sick. As for European, I don't know. I didn't grow up there, so I don't have a particular allegiance. I was just like watching the games. But for a while, I had some friends who liked Liverpool, so I supported them, especially during like 2014 era when they just would score 5 and concede 5 of every game. They were very entertaining to watch. Since then, they've gotten a bit better and have stopped shipping 5 goals a game, so they're not quite as fun to watch. So I probably don't enjoy watching them as much anymore.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm pretty agnostic about teams. I don't really see why, especially because I'm not from there. None of the players are from there either. Like it feels weird choosing one like Saudi oil baron over a Russian oligarch. Like none of these owners are great people. Why should I pledge my allegiance to these teams? They make a good entertainment product. I'll watch from time to time. But that's my rant.
Okay,
Right.
and I've got one final question for you. Few cards capture our hearts and minds every expansion, and this expansion is no different. Why didn't Toad of the Wilds capture your heart or mind? It's so cute. Why?
What did I rate it? I thought I rated it well. I was surprised it didn't see play in more druids than shamans. Darion is obsessed with this card that rotated out from standard a while ago. It was a 2-mana 1/4 taunt or something. It was gain +1 attack, become a 2/4 taunt if your opponent had 2 minions or more. This was like during Doom in the Tomb, during like Highlander days of Highlander Paladin. He'd just like throw that card in every deck in Highlander decks. So he was very hyped on this because it's a 2-mana 2/4 taunt. That's insane. But I mean, Shaman hasn't seen play. The druids that have seen play have all been like very deck building restrictive. Either Gibberling Druid run like no minions, or Clown Druid run no cards that cost less than 5, pretty much, that don't say ramp on them. But I believe there's a time for the Toad. It's a pretty cool card. Come on.
Yeah, I like Toad of the Wild.
It's captured.
It's
Capture My Heart would be the perfect way to describe.
It's
my
just
opinion.
amazing art.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. All right. Coming up. Oh, looks like this is the end of the show, unless we have more questions. So speak now or forever hold your peace in chat. All right, going once.
I think we're all set.
Going twice, and we're gonna end the show now. So I will just go into talking about the matches that are coming up this week. So let me just pull up the doc. So I, again, a ridiculous hat, wanted to make sure that we remind you to submit classes, so I wrote it down here. Submit tonight. If you have already played a week, if you do not, you will just roll over your classes. And if you have not played yet, you will get a disqualification, which you do not want. Alright, so we're going to go right into matches. I'm going to try to be real quick on this. Thursday night throwdown, new op, new casters for this week. Myself, I will be the new op of Thursday night throwdown, and this week with me is going to be Heat Shock casting. 8 p.m. Legacy Red Conference match, Honest Zabe versus Myanodon. The battle of former Dad Legend teammates. Very excited for this. And then that is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have Donde of the Hot Zills versus our very own Geranium battle of Do You Even Tonk in Legacy Gold Conference action. Salute the people.
Oh yeah.
And so Friday Night Fights is going to have another exciting addition, and I will be also casting that. I'm going to be very busy this weekend. This week with casting and opping. We have Friday Night Fights. It's going to be Saku and myself. Perhaps a third person as well. We're 8 p.m. Hero Series match, Risen versus Itachi. Dad Legend versus F2L Black. 9 p.m. will be Battlegrounds. One of the three lobbies for the lobby A. 10 p.m. Eastern. After that will be Pro Series Black Conference match. McBanter face. Potentially, I'm not 100% sure if this is confirmed. McBanter face of Hype Horizon versus No Glocko of Swagoi in Pro Black Conference action. A Salty Saturday, we do not have any matches right now. So if you would like to be on stream Saturday, make sure that you contact Donde or Isocles if you want to get your match streamed. Salty Saturday, 8 or 9 p.m. for the start time. Schoolstone matches. Saturday Schoolstone will have a Wild Series match at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bone Masher of Anoyo versus Hazer of Everyone's a Winner. And I will be opping that, and Marty B will be casting along with me. As what we know so far, perhaps going to get another Wild caster in there. Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, potentially, we're going to have Pro Series pre-conference action between Nails of Clownstone and Pocket Train of Hey Loser. No affiliation with the Wild team that has been played last season. Not sure about opping for that yet, as I can't make it. So potentially going to happen. Hopefully it does. So keep looking out for updates on. Obviously, you'll get a notification on Sunday if there is going to be that match streamed. And finally, Sunday Showdown, 8 p.m. Eastern, Pro Series action, Rice Bowl of Guru Process versus Mr. Python of Para Los Chicos. So that'll be exciting. And then 9 p.m. Eastern, Battlegrounds Lobby B for the same lobby that we will have, for the same color lobby that we'll have on Friday night. So casters for the 8 p.m. match will very likely be Myanodon, Dollar Bills, and Jailstorm in some combination, along with Saku at op. And then casters for Battlegrounds will be Steffi and Blue Sombrero. Yep, and that's what we have on deck for this week, for this weekend in matches. All right.
Absolute powerhouse matches. I'm very excited to watch these streams.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So yeah, thank you for tuning into Tavern Talk this evening. As always, I've been Dr. Fish, and with JR, Geranium, and our guest, always just in time. Thank you for coming on. It's always a blast to be doing this show with you guys. And to everybody, or I should say, any last words from everybody before we go ahead and close?
Just thank you all for tuning in. Always fun to have a nice audience from this wonderful community. So we hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and have a fantastic weekend when the time comes.
Rip Carlbot.
Yep. Rip Carlbot.
Always.
Always Rip Carlbot. All right. So thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow night for some matches. And as always, until then, be safe, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.